What's up, 7th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is for homework 9-4. And for this topic, we're going to be solving multi-step inequalities. So this unit really mirrors the equation unit, right? In equations, we started with the one-step equations, then we went to two-step equations, and then we had multi-step equations, which involve using the distributive property, right? And or combining like terms. And again, topic 9 really mirrors that. We had one-step inequalities, two-step inequalities, and now we're going to have multi-step inequalities where we have to use the distributive property. So I'm going to go over 3 problems here. You absolutely have to be writing these this work down on paper. Okay, one of the things I'm learning from working with kids in person is that they haven't been doing work on paper, and it's like we've forgotten how to use a pencil. Right? You can't do all this stuff in your head. So the first step to solving any equation or inequality is to rewrite it. So it says use both the addition and multiplication properties of inequality to solve the inequality, and then graph the solution on a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. And the way we say this is 2 times the quantity 4y minus 1 is greater than negative 10. All right, so step 1 is to apply the distributive property, right? That's where we multiply everything inside the parentheses by 2, right? So I'm going to multiply 4y times 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. So I get 8y minus 2 times 1 is 2 is greater than negative 10. Okay, so this red equation is a simplified version of the black equation. So essentially, that's the extra step. Now we have a 2-step inequality, just like you solved in 9-3. Step 1 is to always undo addition or subtraction. Right? So since I have subtraction, we're going to add 2 to both sides. On the left-hand side, I still have my 8y minus 2 plus 2. Those cancel. Is greater than, all right, negative 10 plus 2. Let's do this the long way. I have 10 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have 2 positives. 1, 2. And remember that a positive and negative cancel each other out. So I can cancel out one negative with one positive, another negative with another positive, and that's it. And then you look and see, what am I left with? Well, I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 negatives. So negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. All right, last step. We now have a 1-step multiplication inequality. Since I'm multiplying a y by 8, we're going to undo that by dividing both sides by 8. Notice that we're not dividing by a negative here, so I don't have to do any flipping. I'm dividing by a positive 8. So if I multiply and divide by the same number, they cancel, and I get y is greater than negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. So there's my answer. Y is greater than negative 1. Let's find it here. I need the greater than, and I need it to be negative 1. Got it. All right, we're going to want to graph this. So, what I like to do is I'm gonna erase this work, and I'll rewrite my answer here. It's y is greater than negative 1. So I have y is greater than negative 1. Okay, so what am I looking for? Well, I don't have the or equal to, so I'm going to have an open circle, and then it's greater. So I want all the numbers that are bigger than negative 1. If it's greater, we go to the right, and if it's less, then we go to the left. Right? You can think less left, greater right. So I need a graph that looks like this. And this point right here should be negative 1. So I look at my graphs. Okay, this one has the dot at negative 1 and going to the right, but this is a closed circle. This would be the answer if it was greater than or equal to. So basically I want this graph, but with an open dot, and if I look at choice B, there it is. We have an open circle at negative 1, and it goes to the right. Okay, so remember, you can always pause, rewind, and watch this problem again. I know I go kind of quick in these videos because I'm limited to 15 minutes, but that doesn't mean that you have to go quick, right? You can pause, rewind, watch the problem again if you're not sure, or if I went too fast. All right, next we're going to go try number 2 together. Number 2 is a little bit harder than number 1. All right, first thing we do is we rewrite the problem. So on your scratch paper, you are writing down -6 is greater than -3 times the quantity 2x minus 4. Okay, we gotta have to distribute here. So I'm gonna start by I got my -6 here. All right, -3 times 2x. Okay, again, when you multiply a number by a variable term like this, just multiply the two numbers together. So what's -3 times 2? Well, that's -6, but we're talking about x's, right? So I have -6x minus, right? We always take down the minus sign. And then what is -3 times 4? Well, -3 times 4 would be -12. Now I'm putting it in parentheses because we don't like to have two symbols next to each other like that. You just kind of use parentheses to make it clear. Okay, so now I've applied the distributive property, but yeah, this is still a little messy, right? So we're going to clean it up even a little further. I always imagine like I'm a butcher, right? Someone walks into the butcher shop and they ask for a nice steak fillet. My apologies if you're a vegetarian. But this is how you used to do it the old day, and you'd pick out a piece of meat, and the butcher would trim all the fat off, remove the bone, and hand you a beautiful fillet, right? Well, that's what we're doing here. We're trimming off all the fat, we're removing the bone, and we're making this inequality into a nice fillet. All right, -6 is greater than. All right, -6x, that's going to stay the same. When I subtract a negative, when you subtract a negative, that is the same as adding, right? You subtract a negative, it's the same as adding. So I can rewrite this as -6x plus 12. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we have an inequality that is a two-step inequality like we saw in 9-3. So step 1 is always to undo addition or subtraction. Since we're adding, we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. All right, -6 minus 12. I have 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 12 more negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always do them in groups of 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have no positives here to cancel. So what I do is I just count up all the negatives. All right? I only have negatives. Nothing cancels. So I have 6 here plus 12 here. That's 18. I have 18 total negatives. So -6 minus 12 is -18. Is greater than, I still have my -6x, plus 12 minus 12 cancel. All right, the last thing I need to do here is divide by -6, right? Since x is being multiplied by -6, we're going to divide by -6. And what did I just do? I just divided by a negative number. So we know we're going to have to flip the inequality symbol. It's now going to be flipped. -18 divided by -6. Negative divided by a negative is positive. 18 divided by 6 is 3. And then over here, they cancel. So we end up with x is greater than 3. So this right here is the same as this. Okay? These are the same. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter which one you write first. This one says x is greater than 3. This one says x is greater than 3. This one just says it from right to left. This one says it from left to right. But they're saying the same thing. So let's pick our answer here. There it is. X is greater than 3. Got it. All right. Let's think about, before I even go on to the next part, let's think about what our graph is going to look like. Okay. Our answer is x is greater than 3. So I'm looking for an open circle at the number 3, and we want greater than, so it's going to go to the right. So I'm looking for a graph that looks like this. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all this stuff here so I can see my. Well, actually, I'll just do this so I can see my graphs. So we're looking for a graph that looks like that orange one there. And again, I'm looking for open circles. So here's an open circle, but that shows a less than. Here's an open circle. It's between 2 and 4, so that looks like it would be 3, and it goes to the right. So there's my graph. Okay, again, if I went too fast, stop the video, go back to the beginning of the problem, especially when I distributed and I had the 2 negative situation. Go watch it again. Okay, the goal is not to go through this as quickly as possible. All right, I got time for one more. All right, this one involves combining like terms, right? That's where I took all the fruit and I said, hey, I have apples here and apples here. I'm going to put all the apples in one pile. And I have some bananas here and some bananas here. I'm going to put all the bananas in one pile. I got some avocados here and some avocados here. I'm going to put them in one pile. Right. Your friend says that the solutions to the inequality 6x minus 11x is less than or equal to negative 15 are yada, yada, yada. Solve it correctly. And what error does your friend make? Okay, so here is the friend's work over here. Well, let's solve it ourselves first, and then we'll see what the friend did wrong. All right, first step is always to rewrite it. 6x minus 11x. Okay, what this is essentially saying is, what is 6 minus 11? All right, what is 6 minus 11? So you can think of that as 6 positives. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 positives and 11 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And remember, we can cancel, right? I cancel 1 with 1, 2, 2, and so on. And then we'll just see what we're left with. Okay, so I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives, but we're talking about x's here. So 6x's minus 11x's is negative 5x's. We can't forget that x there, right? Because these are actually x's that we're talking about. And there's the 5 negatives. Is less than or equal to negative 15. All right, here is where I think our friend made a mistake. I have to divide by negative 5 here, right? We're x times negative 5, so we have to divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. We need to flip the symbol. So the symbol is now going the opposite direction. Look up here. All the symbols are facing the same direction. Our friend never flipped the symbol, right? All right, on the left-hand side, these cancel. I get x is greater than or equal to. Negative divided by negative is positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So he got x is less than or equal to 3. He should have gotten x is greater than or equal to 3. Got it. Okay, let's think about what our graph is going to look like. Our answer is x is greater than or equal to 3. So we're going to have a closed circle this time. It's going to be at 3, and it's going to be greater. So we want closed circle at 3 going to the right. Let's see what our choices are. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so if we did have to graph it, that's what the graph would look like. They want us to find the error here. Your friend did not combine like terms correctly. No, he did, right? Your friend did not use the correct given inequality. No, he did. Your friend did not reverse the inequality when dividing by a negative number. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There was no distribution involved. Yeah, he forgot to flip it. Okay, guys. Again, if I went too fast, go back, rewatch this video. I'm kind of blurry. Sorry for that. That's the beauty of the videos. You can go back, you can rewatch the whole thing, rewatch just a specific problem. And as always, make sure to ask questions in class. I'll see you guys soon.